And a single hadith is also a narration. But a single hadith is from one person, But the people, the practice of all of Medina is a practice that has been narrated and transmitted by 1,000 from 1,000 from 1,000, or thousands from thousands. So Imam Malik rahmatullahi would say that the practice of the people of Medina is dearer to us than a single report, even though that report may be extremely authentic. And in order to understand that, imagine all of you here on this island. If someone travels from here and goes to another country, and he relates that all of the people of Trinidad, they do things in this way. All of the people, they do things in this way. And this is what, no, he doesn't just relate what everybody does, but he says, I went to the island, and one person informed me that his father said this to him, or his teacher said this to him. How many people are narrating? One person and one person. Imagine if that person then comes here and sees that everybody is doing something else. So he says, 1 minute, I've been informed by this reliable person. Now that person may be extremely reliable, who related from his teacher, who himself was extremely reliable, that this was the case many years ago, and this is what everybody used to do. However, the person says, that's one single narration, what I'm witnessing and what everybody is reporting, in practice is something else altogether. This is the practice of the people of the city. What should I take? Should I rely on a single report from one person, or should I rely on the practice as is transmitted by thousands across the city? That's exactly what Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi did. And not just Imam Malik, but all across the Muslim world, this is what the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum and the students of the Sahaba radiyallahu ta'ala anhum did. This is where fiqh comes in. This is where fiqh came from. Fiqh was built, the understanding of Islamic law and the interpretation of Islamic law and Islamic jurisprudence. All of this was recorded in books and documented, not because of one person's narration from another person, from one other person, but this was all documented according to the prevalent practice of all of the people of the cities. That's why the fiqh of Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi, contrary to widespread opinion, wasn't just the opinion of Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi alayhi. The fiqh of Imam Abu Hanifa, the Hanafi fiqh, is actually the fiqh and the practice of the people of all of Iraq. And Iraq was the main capital and the main area and region of the Islamic Empire at the time. All the practice of the main cities of Kufa and of Basra, and then eventually of Baghdad, and of all the people of Iraq, that evolved into the documented Hanafi fiqh as we see it today. So if you had one report, one hadith says that, the Prophet ﷺ did this, or prayed or practiced in a certain way, and that's reported by one person, and then reported by another person, how come this one single narration is contrary to the popular practice of the Hanafi fiqh? Are they following the opinion of one man? No. The reason is that this practice of praying or doing something in a certain manner has been documented based on the practice of all the ulama and all the leading imams and all the leading students of the Sahaba radiyallahu anhum in the whole of Iraq, in the cities of Basra and Kufa and eventually Baghdad. But mainly, principally, Kufa and Basra. Thousands of Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, the leading Sahaba radiyallahu anhum, moved to Iraq. Imam Sayyidina Ali radiyallahu anh transferred the whole of the Khilafah from Al-Madinah al-Munawwarah to Kufa in Iraq. Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anh, he established the city of Kufa. It was established under his rule and command. And he sent some of the leading Sahaba radiyallahu anhum. Eventually, Kufa was populated by approximately 1,500 Sahaba radiyallahu anhum ajma'een, 1,500 of the leading Sahaba, all of their practice across the whole city was documented by their students and eventually their students, and this evolved into and developed into the Hanafi fiqh as we understand it. This was the same with the Maliki fiqh. The Maliki fiqh wasn't the opinion of Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi. Rather, Imam Malik rahmatullahi alayhi and his students documented what they witnessed as being the widespread practice of all of the people of the city of Medina. In this way, this is how fiqh eventually developed. We've run out of time and I'll end here, but the lesson is that ultimately we cannot understand the Quran and the Hadith directly just by reading them in their Arabic or by depending on their translations. Rather, the Quran and the Hadith this is raw information. The raw information needs to be processed and refined, and that's what fiqh is. Fiqh is the eventual refined and distilled version of information that is readily accessible and understandable to all people. How do you pray salah? You won't be able to find out from the Quran directly. You won't be able to gather that information yourself, or even us as a whole group, from the collection of hadith. Rather, we have to rely on that. For that, we have to rely on the experts. And the experts will distill all of that information, refine it, and they will simply tell us, without going into the technical details, that when you want to pray salah, you stand up, you face the qibla, this is what you say Allahu Akbar, you make the intention, you say Allahu Akbar, this is what you recite, this is how you pray. This collective information of the procedure of salah, you, I, us put together, a whole group put together, it would be almost impossible for us to discover this and to categorize it and to place it in the correct category and in the correct order and in the true correct chronological order. It would be almost impossible for us to achieve that. This is fiqh. It's a distilled, refined information of the Quran and Hadith, that this is what you need to do practically in your everyday life. I'll end just by mentioning one thing. Fiqh is also relying on we all want to follow the Quran and Hadith, without doubt. But how do we go about it? We cannot do it ourselves. We ultimately have to rely on the expertise of the experts. We have to refer to the authority of the experts. We do that in every field except for Islam. You want to fix your car? You don't take out a spanner and endanger your family's life by picking up a manual, reading a few articles on the internet, and then fiddling around with your engine, and then placing your family and your children in your car and going off for a drive. No. If you are ill, if your child is ill, you will not risk picking up a few manuals from your bookshelf or Googling something on the internet and relying on some hodgepodge medicine from some quack claiming to be a medical expert. No. You will dismiss all your medical pretensions. You will. And you will go even to a non-Muslim stranger and doctor. You don't know him, but you will go to him, and merely because of his label and because of his certificate, you will place your child's life in his care, in his trust, and in his hands, and say, this is wrong with my child, help me. And if he says, take this tablet, you don't know what that tablet contains or what are its origins, but you trust and you refer to the authority of one who is superior to you in learning. You refer to the expertise of the expert. You defer to his authority and you accept his medication and you administer that medication. We do it in medicine. You have the right, I don't know about the law here, but I guess because it's based on the legacy of British law, as under British law, and as many courts throughout the world, you have a right to represent yourself in court. You do. But what will most people do? They won't risk. They won't take that risk. They will rely on the expertise of a barrister, a lawyer, a legal advocate and representative. Of course, in every field, be it mechanics, be it medicine, be it electricity, be it water, be it drainage, be it simple things in life, no matter how intelligent we like to think ourselves as being, we will always refer to the authority in that field, we will always defer to that authority, we will always rely on the expertise of the experts. Subhanallah, except for poor